This is The After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
After Party live on a Hide in Your Cave Monday. Boy, do I want to hide in my cave today. I'm telling you what. This show, The Cool Down from The Mark Thompson Show. Boy, do we need a cool down today. It felt, tensions are high and people have all kinds of opinions. I saw someone say, and I think it was the man from the West 420, who said, I don't think I can watch I don't know if I'm going to watch the Mark Thompson Show anymore. And I understand what you're thinking. And thank you for your being supportive and your kindness to me. It's so appreciated. But I have to say that even if it seems like aggressiveness, we're having the debate. It's almost like it's like a newsroom debate that we would have off air. And sometimes seems like it gets aggressive or combative, but we're always friends underneath it, right? And so I'm okay with it. Like even if maybe I don't understand the issues like Mark does as far as what happened behind the scenes, and maybe I need to do some more reading on it. Could be. But I never feel like at the end of the conversation that he doesn't like me or that I somehow come away battered and abused from it all. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like we had the conversation and we each go away with something to think about. That's how I felt about it. And I mean, I guess I could just not say anything, but I don't think that serves a purpose either. So I don't know. That's where I come at it from. But thank you. I am okay. My ears have stopped smoking. I wasn't mad at him. I mean, he has an opinion and it's a knowledgeable opinion. Please hit the like button, Carol Ford says. Thank you, Carol Ford, for saying that. I appreciate it. CBD with 5, just a little love and appreciation for Kim. Oh, thank you, CBD. That's so nice. Thank you very much. Susan Roberts with the 20 as well. Thank you very much for the support of this little cool down show. I appreciate you. I know sometimes subjects can get heated and that's why we're here. We're just going to take a deep collective breath and let it out. We've got a great cave suggestion today and some really good stories as well. So let's jump in and see how it all shakes out. First of all, this guy, look at that. Yeah, he's a big donkey. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger donkey. As a matter of fact, it's a record-setting donkey. It is the tallest donkey in the world, located at a farm in the UK. As a matter of fact, not the only record-setting donkey at this farm. They've got the tallest donkey, the tallest living donkey in the world. His name is Dynamic Derek. He is 5'5" from his hoof to his withers. And his stall neighbor, named Bamboo, has the longest ears on a living donkey. They are 1 foot, 1 inch long. These are some big donkeys they're breeding here. Both donkeys were officially measured on the same day. The parents of this Derek the donkey, were really tall, but not quite as tall as he is. They say no one can quite believe he's a donkey. They think he's a mule because he apparently is so big. So, yeah, he's the world's tallest donkey. He's a big one. Had to show you that. I also have to show you Carl. Oh, Carl. Carl was a wayward bull who, in Massachusetts, who went on the run, got free. He's a curly-haired bull. You can see his hair is kind of curly there. The emergency responders were called out in Massachusetts when Carl ran away. Yeah. They had to assist with the capture of a loose animal. I mean, that's not just an animal. Carl looks like he's as big as a car. The animal turned out to be curly-haired bull Carl. They had to do traffic control on the freeway until Carl could be corralled and put back into his pasture. But he's safe. And everybody's safe. He just had a few stressful moments there. That picture. This guy must have some bruised knuckles from practicing so hard with fist bumping. And I know these stories are silly, and it seems after all the serious stuff we've talked about, like, how can she just go from serious to crazy wacky? But I'm just trying to, again, take a beat, take a moment, and look at other things going on in the world. This man broke a fist bumping record. His name is David Rush, and he's a serial record breaker. One of these guys that sees a record, never met a record he can't break. He captured a fist bumping Guinness World Record. So his name is David Rush, and he teamed up with Jonathan Hollywood Hannon. They're both contestants on this show called 99 to Beat, new game show. And they say they took some time out of filming in London to attempt the Guinness World Record for the most alternate fist bumps in 30 seconds, teams of two. So that was pretty good. He originally set the record at 380 when he did this with Howie Mandel on America's Got Talent. And then he broke his own record with 398 when he teamed up with this YouTuber guy named Dr. Mike. And since then, somebody else took the record. They did 406. So that meant Rush was back at it. And this time, 426 fist bumps in 30 seconds. That was enough to retake the record. Now, Guinness World Records has to examine the evidence before it becomes official. But they had timekeepers and witnesses, and so it all seems like it's on the up and up. That's a lot of fist bumps in 30 seconds. Wow, 426. That's crazy. I'd show you video, but the Guinness World Record people don't like it when we do that. Here's a kind of another one of these 'tis the season. That's a runaway inflatable Halloween pumpkin that went bouncing, bouncing, bouncing down the road, and the police were called out to corral it. I have the picture for you. Happened in the early hours of the morning. Let me take the fist bumpers down. And here you see the Halloween. Kind of gets you in a little Halloween mood. Yes, in the early morning, there was a police pursuit of a giant inflatable pumpkin. It broke free from in front of a local home, and it went rolling through the town of Parma Heights, Ohio. Officers said they were in hot pursuit of a giant inflatable pumpkin rolling through town on Wednesday. The officer had to hold it so that someone else could come deflate it. And they ended up stuffing it into the back of the patrol car. You can see there. That takes up the whole back seat, and they took it back. All right. Some more serious news. There were at least 153 unvaccinated students in South Carolina that have been now quarantined for measles. That's what happens when there's an outbreak, right? And then you have these communities that don't vaccinate, and all of a sudden it affects a lot of people. And so that's what happened here with this. I would call this a mass quarantine of people, at least 153 unvaccinated students. This is at two northern South Carolina schools. These kids were all exposed to measles, and now they have to stay in quarantine for 21 days. They don't have immunity, and so they will have to be excluded from school until the potential disease transition period has ended. This according to the South Carolina Department of Public Health. The schools affected are in Spartanburg County. They are Global Academy and Fair Forest Elementary School. They had the 11th case in the state confirmed last week, the 8th since September 25th. The health department says what this case tells us is that there is active, unrecognized community transmission of measles occurring in the upstate of South Carolina, which makes it vital to ensure the public has received their measles vaccine. Now, measles is highly contagious. 9 out of 10 people become infected if they're not vaccinated. Those infected are contagious for 4 days before the rash begins and through 4 days after its onset as well. The virus can be spread through the air when a person with measles breathes, coughs, or sneezes. And measles virus can remain infectious in the air in a confined area, like a room or a hallway or a car, for up to 2 hours after that sick person has left the area. So they're asking anyone with measles, stay home from work, school, avoid contact with others if you feel sick, and for 4 days after your rash first appears. They say the symptoms usually appear 7 to 14 days after contact with the virus. The measles vaccine, according to doctors, is more than 97% effective. That's according to the CDC, actually. So, but this is what happens when you get these pockets of people that are like-minded, that all go to the same school, or the school, tends to have more lax restrictions on vaccine rules. And so people know that and they congregate in these charter schools or certain schools. And then when there's an outbreak, the S hits the fan. So hopefully everybody's safe and the children there are not going to be impacted by measles, because that's awful. Can we talk about the silver hoard? Look at all those. Look at that silver. That's pretty cool. This is a silver hoard that was found near Stockholm. Up to 20,000 coins and jewelry. When you dream of treasures, this may be what you dream of finding. This guy, though, he was really not hunting for treasure. He was hunting for fishing worms near a summer house in the Stockholm area. And what he found when he was doing a little digging for worms was a large hoard of silver coins and jewelry from the early Middle Ages. The hoard weighs about 13 pounds and includes thousands of silver coins mixed with rings and pendants and beads from the Middle Ages. Immediately, this man informs the Stockholm County Administrative Board. They come out and begin an archaeological excavation of this site. This hoard is described by archaeology experts as large and well preserved. The items had been placed in a copper cauldron that had mostly decayed over the centuries. They say this is likely one of the largest silver hoards from the early Middle Ages ever found in Sweden. They don't know how many coins are there yet, but they think that maybe as many as 20,000. They're still digging. Preliminary analysis shows most of the silver coins date back to the 12th century. Some have the inscription Canutus, Kanutus, which is the Latin name Knut, Knut, which would mean they were minted during the reign of Swedish King Knut Eriksson, who ruled from 1173 to about 1195. Here's another picture. Oh, here's one of the silver hoard. Here's another. Look at all those coins. And here's a close-up of one of the coins. So interesting. From the 1100s, you guys. Seriously. I know. Among them are the ones pictured here on the screen. This is a rare bishop coin. These were struck under authority of medieval bishops, and they have the image of a bishop holding a crozier, which is a staff that symbolized the religious office. You can see that curly thing next to the face. And the presence of these coins, they say, adds to the discovery's historical significance. So they think that maybe this hoard was buried between a period of unrest in the late 12th century when Sweden was expanding its control into Finland. And maybe this treasure was buried for safekeeping, and then it was never recovered. Now, during this time frame, Stockholm didn't even exist yet when this was buried. The city wasn't officially founded until 1252, and several decades later, then it would grow to become Sweden's largest city sometime in the 13th century. The site and the artifacts are now being documented and analyzed by archaeologists. For security reasons, the exact location of this find is not being publicly disclosed until the analysis is wrapped up. And then they're going to give a report to the Swedish National Heritage Board, and they will decide whether the state will claim the treasure, meaning the government will compensate the finder for its value. They are commending the finder for honestly reporting the hoard. They say the any person who finds ancient objects made of precious metal must offer the state the opportunity to acquire them for payment first. Would you, call the government? I found this massive stash of silver coins. You would have to. What are you going to sell them on eBay? On Facebook Marketplace? Yeah. What a find, though. Can you imagine digging for worms and finding that? That's crazy. Crazy town. I know. Let's go from the silver to the face. Look at that face. Yeah, really interesting. It's from the Stone Age. This face, a human face carved into the stone pillar in Turkey 11,000 years ago. It's a T-shaped pillar, and it's the first with a face to be found in the Stone Age, according to Stone Age archaeology sites. Yeah. So this is one of the world's oldest Stone Age archaeological sites. It's called Karahantepe, and it's in southeast Turkey. And that is where this was found. Dates back about 11,000 years. It's a 4.5-foot tall piece. They say that's the first one they found in this area. That they've unearthed a lot of rock pillars here in this Stone Hills area, which is a prehistoric site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, by the way, the oldest temple complex in the world. But many of the pillars served as a structural purpose, supporting these ancient buildings' rooftops. They think the T-shaped pillars were also made to symbolize or evoke humans. All the previously discovered pillars were engraved with human arms or hands, and animals or garments like clothing. The only missing element till now has been the face. And the human face pillar that they encountered in a structure containing domestic elements like grinding stones fills this gap. So it's a pockmarked, sand-colored pillar with a very simplistic face, prominent brow, straight nose, deep-set eyes, and it resembles carved faces found on other artifacts in this area, like full statues and busts as well. The archaeologists are saying that this example provides clear evidence that T-shaped pillars symbolized humans. It's a unique, abstract example of the self-expression of the people of this period. And they say similar finds further define the cognitive transformation of that people underwent during the Neolithic age. It's pretty cool. I have another picture of it to show you. It's simple. It's almost like modern art in a way. Really kind of cool. But here it is in a capacity where you can see the rest of the statue or the T-shaped pillar as it was unearthed. Kind of a little taller and gives you a little more context as to what they uncovered. That's the close-up. Here's the full thing. See, yeah, interesting to see the full thing, I think. So cool. All right, it is time for Hide in Your Cave Monday, and I gotta tell you guys, I don't know if I'm coming out. I might go in and just never come out. I got an email from JT who says, "Hi, Kim. Every time you mention caves, I think of the incredible Batu caves in Malaysia that I visited many years ago." And JT gives me a link and says, "Appreciate your so much." JT, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking us to the Batu caves. This is a really cool place. And thank you for the link as well with some more information about the caves and what they represent. This is a series of limestone caves in Malaysia, about 8 miles north of the capital city of Kuala Lumpur. It is a cave complex that contains many Hindu temples. One of the most popular, a shrine dedicated to the deity Murugan, the focal point of the Tamil Hindu festival in Malaysia. It also hosts a 141-foot high Murugan statue, which is one of the largest Murugan statues in the world. So the name of this cave complex, the Batu Caves, is derived from the word batu in Malay, which means rock. The complex was used as shelters by indigenous people. In the 1860s, Chinese settlers began excavating guano. 1800s, the caves were visited by American naturalist William Hornaday and an Indian Tamil trader, Thambusami, who promoted the cave complex as a site of Hindu worship. And so the Hindu temple, dedicated to their lord Murugan, was completed in 1891, and that's when the celebrations started. There's housing development around the region, which started when the caves were developed as a religious area, and maybe even overdevelopment because of it. Here's another picture from the inside. So you can see the temples and the buildings down as you walk down inside of the Batu Caves. This is really interesting. So the complex is a series of limestone caves formed more than 400 million years ago. There's a complex cave system of 20 recognized caves, including 4 large cave systems with multiple interconnected chambers. There's speleothems formed by the action of water falling on the surface, resulting in the dissolution of limestone rocks. So you get stalactites and stalagmites down here, jutting from the ceiling, rising from the floor. The formation of cave curtains, flow stones, cave pearls, scallops. The interiors would have been damp and wet when these caves were being formed. There's a lot of animal species down here as well. 269 species of vascular plants at this site. A diverse range of cave fauna, including endemic species, 21 species of bats, including several species of fruit bats. They say the dark cave system is home to numerous species of insects, including haplotaxids, spiders, mites, ticks, scorpions, spring beetles, flies, ants, wasps, moths, even butterflies, frogs, lizards, snakes. The bat guano, they say, is home to a native species of cockroach as well. I'm not going very deep into this cave. You got me. I'll look at the stuff, and then maybe I'm not staying down here. Maybe I'm coming back out. The site, by the way, is also home to numerous long-tailed macaws. The monkeys depend on people for food, and they might cause disturbance or nuisance. And in order to preserve the cave's ecology, access is restricted in the inner cave complex, which can be accessed by educational trips that are organized by the Malaysian Nature Society. They've had development over the years and industrial activity, and because it's so popular, a lot of people coming down, and that may threaten the biodiversity of this region. But it also is a very significant religious site where festivals are held. There's even commuter trains that will take people here. That's the Batu Caves in Malaysia. Thank you, JT, for taking us there. And that is Hide in Your Cave Monday. We're coming back out. Shall we wrap it up with a story about the lotto of the day? This one has to do with an unexplained feeling that led this woman in North Carolina toward her big $1.86 million lottery jackpot. This player said she felt a random urge to play a Monopoly online lottery game, and she ended up the big winner. She's from Cleveland. I want to say Cleveland, Ohio, but I guess this is Cleveland, North Carolina. She told the North Carolina education lottery officials she was in bed when she decided to give the game a try on her phone. Something just told me, she said, play Monopoly, play Monopoly. If you build it, they will come. The impulse to make a $1 play led to her winning $1.86 million in the top-level Grand Fortune jackpot. She said, I really didn't know what was going on. It was unreal. I could not sleep at all after that. Yeah, if you wanted to play a little lotto on your phone on the way to bed, no. She said she'll use her prize money to take care of her 3 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. This came right on time, she said, and it's a great feeling. She also wants to use some money for the home repairs that she needs. She said, now I can fix whatever needs to be fixed. No problem. You know, sometimes you look around and you're like, oh, I wish I could fix that. I wish I could do that. Wouldn't it be nice to have the money to just not have it be an issue? All right, how about we'll end it with this, because I know the show will be a little short today because Mark's show went long, but Google just released the 25 most searched Halloween costumes for 2025. What do you think? Here's what we're going to see a lot of this year. We're going to see a lot of, when the doorbell rings, K-pop demon hunters costumes. 6 of this year's most 10 searched costumes on Google come from this hit movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, with characters like Rumi, Zoe, Mira, Jinu, and Derpy the Tiger making the list. For the Frightgeist search data, people are inspired by the usual mix of pop culture moments. So Wicked's Elphaba and Glinda are on the list. Minecraft's Chicken Jockey for gamers. The Lorax, you can see the Lorax to the right. Hamilton, characters from Hamilton as well. So, you know, if you're looking to have one of the trendiest costumes, other options include Nightwing from DC Comics, various video game characters, and other streaming series favorites. So there you go. The most popular searched is the K-pop Demon Hunters Rumi, and then the Zoe character, and then the Mira character, then Chicken Jockey from Minecraft, then Elphaba, then the Lorax, then characters from Hamilton, then Nightwing, then Glinda. Those are the top. So that's what you're going to be seeing at the door this year. All right. Thank you guys for your kindness and for the show, which seems, I guess, on a day like today, where we kind of lighten it up and do some silly stories and some science stories and things like that. It feels like we're looking away from the things that need the most attention. But thank you for doing it with me anyway. CBD, thank you for the 5. Susan, and the comments. Susan, thank you for the 20 and the nice sentiments. And thank you to everyone who just comes in to hang out and take a little moment to chill out with this show, where we look at the tallest donkey. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. David K. Johnston will be on the show, and it's going to be a really good one. Also, Mo Kelly will swing by the Mark Thompson show as well. He's going to become, I believe, a regular on the show. We'll talk more about that tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show at 11 a.m. right here on YouTube. But until we meet again, make it a great rest of your Monday. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Aw, Luis, thank you for the 5. And he writes, thank you, Kim, for always being the queen of kindness. Luis, thank you to you too. I appreciate that. You're awesome.